we're going to talk with Tim Gardner. Who is he? Well, Tim is a patient at Hearing, and he's a very techno-savvy patient. So I got some really techno-savvy questions to ask him. You can also give us a call at 330-450-1480 if you need us. If you got a question you want to ask, or you want to make a comment, you can do that. But right now, you are listening to The Ron Ponder Show. We talk health all week long, and our first stop this week is here at Hearing. We talk with Jim Morris. He's the owner of Hearing. We also talk with Jody Lancaster, who runs the Akron location. They're going to be opening up a new location, I think in August, over at White Pond, and you're going to be hearing more and more about that because I'm hoping they're going to have a big-time open house. I'm going to invite a lot of folks from Akron at that office. But right now, a lot of times, especially when you've heard me talk about Schumann, Zimmerman, and Associates, and I've told you that if you really want to know how well the attorneys treat you, don't necessarily talk to the attorneys. Talk to someone that they've treated, someone that they've worked with, one of their clients, and that's true. Same thing here with Hearing. We can talk to Jim, and we can talk to Kelly, we can talk to Jody, and they have good information, but what about their patients? What about people that they've actually treated? I like that. And we have a patient this morning. His name is Tim Gardner. Tim, welcome to our show. Thank you. Tim, you are a patient of Hearing, but give us a little bit of history first. How did you become or decide to be a patient of Hearing?
Well, I had been tested a number of years ago, and
A little closer to your mic.
the cost was rather high, and so I kind of put it off. And then as the hearing got pretty bad, I decided I needed to do something about it. So I went to one of these places that sent me something in the mail where you buy one, get one free.
And you got 2 years, so I thought, maybe that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, well, as we talked, we found out that that carried no warranties of any kind, and if you lost it, it was gone, or if it broke, it's up to you to fix it. And the quality really wasn't very good. So I decided to check out another place, and I found Hearing. So I came up here, and what they showed me was vastly superior. And so I decided to do it.
Did you undergo the hearing test itself?
Yes, both places.
And what did you think about that?
Well, the other place, when they were putting the hearing aids on me to try them out, they kept making little adjustments here and there, and we spent a half an hour with them making adjustments, and it never got right. And when I came up here and tried these that I'm wearing right now, Sheriff put my prescription into the computer, and other than a tiny little tweak here and there, they were perfect. And that's what I decided to settle on. They were only a couple of $100 more money than what the other people had offered me in the same quality range. But they were so far superior, it was no comparison.
Kind of obvious, huh?
Pardon?
Kind of obvious, huh?
Very obvious, yes.
Do you have them on now?
Yes, I do. Okay. I had to turn them down because of headphones.
I didn't notice, when you came in, I looked, and I did not notice your hearing aids.
They're not real visible. They're behind the ear, and the wire comes down, and the microphone goes into the ear, and you really have to be looking to see them. I just had a head injury, and the doctor went to look at my ear, and I told him I had to remove my hearing aids first. He hadn't even seen them. He didn't even know they were there.
What was the process like when you came in here? One of the things that I hear other patients of hearing talk about is the fact that the staff is pleasant, the atmosphere is pleasant, it's not very intimidating. It's kind of laid back. What were your immediate impressions?
Extremely friendly. I was treated like they've known me for years. Everyone was courteous. Shara was extremely knowledgeable, and she walked me through everything, and I could see everything on her computer screen as she did it, and it was understandable even to me as a layperson to what she was doing. And this Oticon that I bought has got a software that she's able to adjust things that it's just amazing what they can do with it. I mean, it sets a new standard in hearing aids. It really does.
So now, I understand you're a pretty tech-savvy guy, right?
A little bit.
And at least you can turn on the VCR. You can turn on the television with the remote control, right?
I can figure out how to turn my computer on.
What have the connectivity or the streamer provided for you?
Oh, that's unbelievable, because you hear everything, because everything streams right to the hearing aids. The television, actually my telephone, my hearing aids are my Bluetooth, and it's unbelievably clear, crystal clear.
So you don't need to pick up your phone. Your hearing aid is Bluetoothable.
And I have to use my phone all day at work, so it makes it really nice, and it lets me hear people really well.
Okay. We're talking with Tim Gardner. He's a patient here at Hearing. A fairly new patient, then, I think, right, Tim?
Last couple of months, yeah.
Cool, and you've been satisfied ever since, right?
Very satisfied.
Okay, and what kind of work do you do?
Sales. I'm a sales, not a telemarketer, but I'm a sales marketing manager.
And you said you came up here to Hearing. How did you find out about Hearing?
Well, after I wasn't satisfied with the test I had, I started looking around, and I just kind of found them off the internet.
And fortunate that you did, huh?
Yeah, very fortunate. I'm really glad that I found them. So it worked out perfect for me.
Now, there might be somebody out there listening right now who, first of all, may suspect that they have a hearing loss. And secondly, if they do, what advice would you give them, first of all, about their potential hearing loss? And secondly, about actually shopping for the right hearing aid?
Well, one of the things that I noticed was my radio, I had to change the settings so I could hear it better, and I didn't even think it was my problem. I thought there was something wrong with the radio. It wasn't playing the same as it used to, or something else was wrong. And I think that, as I told Jim one day, that before you get hearing aids, you think you can get by. You think you don't really have to have them. But after you have them, you realize you could never live without them. I can't stand taking them out. It really makes a huge difference.
Do you sleep in them?
No. You take them out every night.
I like contacts.
And, come out every night and open up the battery compartment to save the battery life. And they put them in a little storage case so the pets don't chew them up, which they will. And that's what I do.
Okay, Tim Gardner, very satisfied patient and client of Hearing, and that's exactly where we are today. This is the first stop on our week-long trek out in the community, talking health issues, and today we're talking about hearing loss, and it's a very important issue as well, especially if you've got a hearing issue. And as I've talked to Jim Morris, the owner, before, a lot of times you don't realize that you may have a hearing problem. And if you don't recognize that, or even if you do, let me remind you that Hearing is offering complimentary screenings this week. All you got to do is mention that you've heard the Hearing spots on WHBC, and Jim and the crew out here would be more than happy to invite you in to give you a complimentary screening. And Tim, we thank you for being a guest this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and continue good luck with those hearing items. Okay. And Jim, let's bring you back into the conversation here. Is Tim kind of typical of the patients that you find coming into the door at Hearing?
Yeah, let me ask Tim one question before he leaves. Tim, you had said you had your hearing tested much earlier. How long before you came to Hearing was that first hearing test? About 8 or 9 years. 8 or 9 years. What did I tell you? 7 years, right? Why did you wait so long? Well, at that time, they quoted me some really high pricing at $8,000 to $10,000, and that was way out of my budget. And I didn't think my hearing was that bad because I could hear things that I thought my hearing was okay or good enough to get by, and I wasn't going to spend $8,000 or $10,000. And did you go to one of those major nationally known chains at that price? Where was it? So people need to shop and find out what's the reasonable price and what's a good value. And I would recommend people rely on their audiologist to get the right hearing aid. This Oticon that I bought sets a new standard, but it might not be right for somebody else for whatever the reason. And I think the audiologist will know best on what they should buy.
I think that's a good point, because I've heard a lot of folks talk about the Oticon and how great it is, but it may not be great for that particular person, right, Jim?
That's why we offer more than one brand. We will not ever be a one brand provider. And to address
address your question, what makes Tim typical of the typical hearing patient? And that's that, one, oftentimes they get sticker shock. Two, they're not sure that the value is there when they get that first price quoted to them. Three, they think they can live with the problem and just get along when they don't realize how hard it is for other people to communicate with them, and they don't realize the impact it's having on their life. Oftentimes we have people come in and they'll say, I'm starting to withdraw. I'm starting to not enjoy doing things I used to do because I know I'm not going to hear there. I don't want to go to weddings anymore. Family events. Those are the typical problems that we see people have when they wait that 7 years to make a decision.
Okay. That's Jim Morris. I want to thank Tim Gardner, one of the patients here at Hear Inc., for providing that testimony. As we're coming up to the top of the hour, and we're going to go to Fox National News, and then I think it's Joe Yashrimsky still back in our local news studio. On the other side of